For anybody that don't know who's sitting here, to my right, Counselor Joe Driscoll. To my right, Counselor Khalid Bey, Counselor Stephen Thompson, Counselor Bren, Counselor Rudd, Counselor Allen, and I'm President Hudson. And
I'm the city clerk, John Capanis, and you were right, Council President. It's page 113 is what we're going to start on, if you want to do the clerk's office first.
alrighty, thank you. This time I'm going to start on my left. Counselor Allen, you have anything? Alrighty, Counselor Rudd.
I think your activity indicators are maybe the best in the entire budget.
Thank you. I would like to just give a quick overview on DocuPet. In the last year, you may recall, we had a committee meeting about a year ago, and we hired a company called DocuPet out of Canada that is helping us increase participation in dog licensing. Dog licensing across the board is a very low participation rate, not just in Syracuse, but throughout the country. So this company from Canada, which we're fortunate, not only does our work, but moved to Syracuse to make their office in Syracuse for their North American expansion, and they're in the incubator center at Mutual, New York. What their process is what I can't do as a government. They can offer incentives. They can go to Petco and get coupons and mail them out and say, do you know your dog needs to have his renewal, and incentivize them, as well as use the stick approach, which is what government can do. So since we've hired them and they've been in place for less than a year, we've had 11% increase in participation. We expect that to continue to rise. Starting this spring, this is the first time they're going to do this, they're doing a door-to-door campaign where they're dropping off literature, reminding people about the process, giving incentives to encourage people to license their dog. This is not only good because it's legally required, but it also helps us with getting people back with their pets if they get lost. They have a system where they're 24 hours a day. You can go online, you can create a Facebook page for your pet. There's all kinds of information that they do. They'll help us with foster parenting pets that are missing. We waited to do this until the Walsh administration came on because we wanted to include dog control. I handle licensing, but Parks handles dog control. So this program helps both departments. So when Parks comes up, they can explain to you the advantages of DocuPet with their operations. But I just want to let you know the program's in force. It was was an initiative we had in the last year. It's moving forward, and I think it's been a success to date.
Okay, I do have a question now.
Okay.
So I'm just curious, how much revenue a year do we actually take in from licensing certificates?
About $60,000.
60,000.
Approximately. From marriage license, dog licenses,
And that's all city, like that doesn't have to be.
that's our share, yeah.
Okay.
That's our percentage. We take in more than that, and then we have to give it to the state. Most of those licenses are state-issued licenses. Like, we only get a percentage of the marriage license, and the rest of it goes to the state of New York.
Okay.
You all done?
Yes.
Counselor Rudd, you done?
Do you have any unfunded headcount?
Well, the other thing we've done in the past year, because I know you wanted to know about initiatives and other budget hearings, is we applied to the research department, which we were successful in securing a local records management grant, because a lot of our records, historic archival records, are in old binders and books, and some of them are microfilm. So we secured a $46,000 grant, and we're in the process of converting a lot of our old volumes and microfilm into a more easier to research and easier to pull up information, because lots of times people come in and they need historic information and we have to pull it out of a ledger book, which is how it was done 50 years ago. So now we're trying to update our records, and we're very happy to have worked with the research department who secured this grant. And this is just, again, another way to update our office operations and make it more user-friendly for the public. So we're in the process of that. Grant is in process right now. Shortly, they should be, by the end of this year for sure, we'll have everything up and running.
And that'll be for a new employee?
No, it's to help our current employees access information. The information is stored in a very outdated method. So it'll be easier on the computer to pull up the records rather than have to go get them off the shelf.
That means digitizing records? Is that what is that
Some
the
of
summary?
them, yes, yeah.
Okay.
The ones we can't do everything. The ones we use most frequently.
Is there a way to make that accessible to the public as opposed to public employees?
Well, for example, marriage licenses are not public information. It has to be over 50 years old to be an archival document that's open to the public. Otherwise, I have to have the permission of the two people of the license to release the information. So not all of our documents are public, but the ones that are public, we could do that.
Okay.
No, that's my other question.
Do you have any unfunded headcount?
Oh, no, just to recap, all of our positions are accepted by county civil service. We have no SURA funding. We don't use our 415 line for that purposes. And over the years, my background in personnel has made me able to not only take care of my office, but your office in a way in which all the positions are properly categorized and accepted by a county civil service.
Well, I thank you for that. Thank you.
With regard to public document copies, is there a good reason why this number has gone down, especially in light of your discussion of the grant that makes public documents more accessible to your staff?
What happened is a lot of that money is for marriage license copies, certified copies of marriage licenses. When the ACA went into effect and a lot of different things, a lot of employers required people to prove their marriage license. And that's kind of petering off a little bit now, but there was a rush on people getting copies, certified copies of their license for their health insurance purposes at work. And
So
that's why that number was peaked up and then it's coming down a little.
So that 127 was more inflated
Yeah,
as a
slightly
historical?
inflated, yeah.
Okay, Good, thank you.
And I'm gonna ask a kind of silly question. What's the difference between licenses, certificates, and transcripts?
Okay, when you come in and get a marriage license, we give you a license, and then when you go out and actually get married and send back, we give you a certificate. So you can get a license, and that doesn't mean you're married, because some people get the license and never use it within the 60 days. When they use it, mail it back to us, it's been, a marriage has been performed, they then get a marriage certificate that shows that they have had their marriage.
Well, you tell I've never been married, huh?
And the transcript, what's the transcript?
Well, the transcript is the information sent to the state of New York, certifying the marriage.
So you pay for all three?
Well, you get it in the $40 fee, you get it all at once. It covers all of them. But if you need a copy, it costs $10 to get a certified copy if you've lost your original or need it for other purposes.
Alrighty, Counselor Thompson.
John, what do you see in this year's future for your office?
Well, we're trying to get along with the money that is in the budget. It's tight. When I first took over as city clerk, there were 4 licensing personnel in the front office doing licensing. We're down to 2 full-time and a half-time person. We need those positions because I have to cover vacations under CSEA and sick leave and all these other times off, so the half-time person helps by looking up records and doing various jobs around the office. So we can get along with 2.5. I think we've talked about this before, similar to what was talked about in the mayor's office. Other licensing is done at the permit desk. It could be done in the clerk's office, and other cities have all licensing done in the clerk's office. The state of New York requires that marriage, conservation, dog license be done by the city clerk and no other office. So mine cannot move other places, but theirs could move into our office. And many times people come through the door and say, where do I get my bingo license? Or how do I get this? Because in the town of DeWitt, all licensing is in the clerk's office, I believe. So the reason it hasn't been done is I'm part of the legislative branch of government, and the other office is part of the executive branch, which would require a charter amendment for the public to say, oh yes, let's consolidate licensing into the city clerk. So no one's taken that step. I can't imagine the public would say, let's not, but talk about inefficiencies. Having 2 different spots to go get licenses is inefficient. Our office staff only deals with licensing. When you go to the permit desk, you might get somebody who is familiar with an entertainment license, and you might get somebody who's not. So you're not getting a consistent application of those licenses, where if the function is just licensing, then the people become experts at that. And I think if you had it in one location, it would serve the public better, and then I could justify having a 3rd full-time position, which would then save you at least a half-time position over at permits. The job could be done with 3 people, instead of what's being done now with, if you add permits, they have their own full-time person at least doing it.
Thank you.
Counselor Bay.
Yeah, I have one question. The 416 line.
Yep.
Travel, training, and development.
I'm sorry, Counselor, I can't hear you.
It's probably because I'm not used to mic. My fault. So the 416 line, travel, training, and development,
Yes?
what does that consist of? Who's being trained?
Okay, most of that's our copier on the 415 line.
416. 16.
Oh, 416. Some of it is periodicals that I subscribe to as city clerk. Some of it is, I never take any travel. Almost always every year that budget doesn't really get used, except for, you know, I'm a member of the city clerk's organization. There's a annual fee for that. And it's for travel, training, and development, but I don't travel anywhere, so it's really just training and development.
I'm still gonna make a case that we need more money in postage and freight. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor.
Counselor Green, Counselor Driscoll.
Can some of the money be moved from the travel line to the postage and freight, or would that
That's
still
what-
not be enough?
During the year, when the budget is a planning document, and I plan the best I can, but you're right. During the year, sometimes I have to go to Mary and move one line to another, you know, get permission to move money. And we've done that this year, and we'll probably have to do it every year because we make good guesses, but they're not perfect.
Right.
Alrighty,
Thank you.
thank you.
Don't go far.
Yeah, don't go far. What page, James?
The Common Council budget is on page 59.